Hello everyone, Treecks here with the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3-heart challenge part 27, the finale part. I don't know how many videos this is going to be, maybe 2 I think, maybe 3, definitely not 1. I'm going to record this as 1, like I said earlier, and I'll see how long it gets and how many parts I'm going to end up editing this into. Anyway, let's get started with this final dungeon, the Ganondorf dungeon, the endgame dungeon. We'll do this in order, the same order we cleared the normal dungeons in, because why not? This first room, the forest room, I'd say, requires us to defeat an enemy for a chest which contains nothing, but more importantly, light all torches. The easiest way is to just shoot a fire arrow at the one at the top and do the rest with a simple dinse fire. Right. Don't know why I didn't register the first time. I was pretty sure I did it correctly. Anyway, there's a time block here, just in case you were wondering how the hell to get that silver rupee. Use the fan to blow you to the next platform immediately. First things first, get rid of this BMOS before he gets in your way. The switch is required to get some hookshot points. Hookshot points are required to get some of the gems, you can't get them all without it. They're pretty easily scattered. As you may notice, this room doesn't really have a forest theme, just like the forest temple itself didn't really have it. That's because this game originally intended the first dungeon of the adult Link timeline, and therefore also this room here in Ganon's castle to be wind themed. Originally it was meant to be the wind temple. They changed their minds very last minute, and this room was never altered. It eventually gave them the forest theme. This room, more than the forest temple itself, still breathed out wind a lot more. You can even see it in the symbol on the forest medallion. As you can see it here, it clearly has a wind symbol. Nice little fun fact. Anyway, first room is already done. Next up is the water section, which is basically the ice section, because the same rule applies here. The water temple and the water theme in general were originally not meant to be water themed. This originally also had a different theme, which you can already guess, ice. This room and the water temple were first meant to become the ice temple, which also changed last minute. That's the reason why the ice cavern is a thing, and the reason why Sora's domain was frozen and everything. There was an ice theme going on before water became a thing. Also a last minute change of mind from Nintendo. I should have known that was a trap. Why did I fall for that? Nothing more here? No? No. Stop rolling into doors, Link. Alright, here's a block pushing puzzle. Classical Zelda puzzle. All their block puzzles. This one is timed. If you know the solution, there's nothing to worry about. There's a reason I picked up a second blue fire in the first room, because this room also requires one. This one does not have blue fire for you to grab, so you have to grab it from the previous room. Let's grab out my hammer, because this time I know for sure there's a rusty switch, unlike in the Gerudo's training grounds, where Master Quest troubled my mind. But this time I know. Here's the second use of the blue fire. and hit this switch. Open the door. Timer will keep going, so don't take a sweet time. Or do, because as you can see you have more than enough. What can you give me? Some magic? Yes, I do not need a heart, which appears as a rupee if you're full. Alright, barrier 2 down. Every barrier will make the sages appear, giving you one final message, all coming down to the same thing. Please save the princess, hurry up, good luck, you know the stuff. Nothing too special. What does the next one involve? Oh yeah, this is the most important room, the shadow barrier. Because this is the room that contains the final item in the game, the dungeon item for this game, which is required to do some of the next ones. Alright, there's multiple ways of doing this. I'll go for the intended way. Light the torch and invisible platforms appear. An alternate way of doing this is to hookshot up to that torch, which is hookshotable, and then from there hookshot to this like, which is also hookshotable. So you do not need the fire arrow for this, technically. And I'll do it the way they intended it to go. Anyway, here's another switch. There's some invisible platforms running across here. Use them to get to this platform and make our dungeon item appear. I already gave away what it is. Our final upgrade, level 3 power bracelet. Golden gauntlets. There were still some things in this game we couldn't lift before. We haven't seen them yet. Yeah, we've seen one outside of Ganon's castle. However, we're going to ignore that, because that final overworld thing is the last fairy fountain, giving us... No, I need the Lens of Truth. Giving us the final upgrade from the Great Fairy, namely the double defense. But I think the double defense interferes with my 3 heart challenge too much, so I'm not going to use it. I'm not even going to get it, because you are forced to use it once you have it. It's not like an option. Come on, Link. Like Nairu's Love is. That's the reason why I did get that one. It's also an interference for my 3 heart challenge, but I do not have to use that one. So it's not in my way. Double defense basically means you get 6 hearts instead of 3. The game will still say you have 3, but it will act like 6, because everything in the game will only give you half damage. I do not feel like doing that. Even if I do start choking on the final boss, I'll always have Nairu's Love on my side. Which I'll try not to use, unless I get killed a whole lot. Oh yeah, it's hot in here. Please let me pause. Apparently you can't pause if Navi's dialogue is up. This is a simple grab all rupees room. Silver rupees, of course. Which are scattered everywhere. It's recommended to wear the hover boots in here, because the middle platform you're walking on is actually sinkable. It will sink into the lava if you're standing on it, but it will not do that if you're light enough to not trigger it. So wear the hover boots for that. Right, this is where the golden gauntlets comes in. These rocks cannot be lifted with the silver gauntlets. Only the golden gauntlets can. Go away. This guy is getting on my nerves. Usually he'll attack me if I run to this platform. I've been knocked into the lava many times by him. Alright, I do not trust myself to jump at this, so I'll do this like so. And I forgot one over there, I see. That should have been the last one. Right, putting back the hover boots on, because I need to go back. Yes, grab. If you fall into the pit, it will reset the room. Obviously not something we want to happen. Okay, hook shot to the end. The only way to get there. Try to refill my magic in every room, because as you can see the light arrows do drain it a lot. It's the arrows that use the most magic. Twice as much as the fire and ice arrows do. Here we have our brother, quote unquote brother. Alright. That will be 4. 2 more. Light and spirit. Light is actually the only one that didn't have an actual dungeon involved, as you may know. So the theme in here is quite neutral, actually. Link showing off his muscles, which he doesn't actually have because he's using tools enabled to lift that. Right, this room is filled with some invisible enemies. All chests containing an invisible enemy have some prizes in them. All chests that do not have an invisible enemy on them are traps, so you do not need to bother with those. Unless you're going for 100% chests, which I am not. I do not consider that a part of the 100% in this game. This was also one with an invisible keys on it. That's all the items you can get from this. And the middle one, which appears after defeating all enemies, is a small key, which is required to continue. I do not need the lens anymore, so place the ocarina on that. Alright, this is a very simple puzzle, just another of these Triforce symbols. As if we didn't see enough of those yet. This is the final one though. We do not have to play Zelda's Lullaby ever again. Alright, like I said, very easy. This is definitely not final dungeon material, Nintendo. You should be throwing harder puzzles at us at this point. Right, this room is a little more challenging. It's collect silver rupees with some rolling rocks running around. Nothing too difficult, but at least this one tries to be a challenge. And it's timed. Also, no problem. More than enough time to spare. Right, this is a little trick the game likes to play. You could use the Lens of Truth here to see a fake wall. I'm not going to fall for that. Please heal my magic. Why am I wearing the hover boots? They're annoying me. I like Link more in blue. That's a little A Link to the Past thing. The blue male in that game. So I like Link the most in blue in almost every Zelda, even though green is my favorite color. For some reason I like Link more in blue. Ever since A Link to the Past. So Breath of the Wild is even more of a favorite of mine because of that. Because Link actually is in blue standard there, even though you have some wardrobe choices there. I always just go for the champion's tunic. Alright, final one. Spirit themed. Ow. Go me trying to dodge a Beamos and running into a blade trap. I'm going to get rid of you. And it's a big Beamos, so they need 2 bombs. 1 to stun and 1 to kill. Oh, missed. That's just a heart. I'm not gonna go through there. Of course, I usually do that. But normally I have 20 hearts here, plus double defense. So these things do absolutely nothing if they hit you, but now they do. Try to be careful here. Sometimes I forget because it's going relatively easy, but I only have 3 hearts. Right, this is just in case you miss the item which is required for this puzzle. Game telling you, hey, you need bomb juice. I need to line up quickly. This should be fine. This is the puzzle. The second and last time you need bomb juice in this game. Go Majora's Mask for making him use more. And not to mention Phantom Hourglass, which is an actual dungeon item. First, fire arrows to burn the web. It's the only... No, don't grab the sword. I can shield with the sword. Which one was it again? One real one. All the other ones will just summon some wall masters, which I'm not scared of. Why do you give me a Deku Nut? Why do I need a Deku Nut? For absolutely nothing. Grab the fire arrows. Light arrows. Fire arrows don't work on these things. Only the light arrows do. I haven't been shooting those for show. It's actually the only thing that works. Alright, final one. These first couple of rooms are pretty easy, as you can see. Relatively easy, perhaps, because I've been doing this for years, so I'm quite used to them. So I'll make them look easy, but you can imagine when I did this for the first time, I actually died here, in this part of the dungeon. Who doesn't? I'm not here saying this is an easy game. I just know it from back to forth. Anyway, a small little detour first. I need to find a room containing some goodies. I think I see it already. I do not need to grab the Lens of Truth to see it. Here's actually where some fairies are, and also a lot of business crops. And I'm interested in one. Die, all of you. Which one of you sells green potions? I do not want a red potion. That's prohibited for me. Arrows, I'm full on arrows, or as good as full. I do not want bombs either. Yes, you are the one I want. Of course, the very last one I check. I think one is enough. I have plans for the final boss, and that revolves using a lot of magic spells. So I'm afraid I might run out of magic at some point, so I'm going to give myself a little insurance. 3 heart challenge does not mean I'm not allowed to recover my magic. That's a completely different thing. So, come on Link, go in. It's time for part 2 of this dungeon. The path to Ganondorf, the King of Evil. I'm hoping for a magic refill quick. No, I have some pots later on which give me that. Go away. Ow. That was unnecessary. Alright, first room. Dinophos times 2. Be careful on your defenses here. Like I said in the Guru's training grounds, these guys are quick. They dodge you quickly. And there shouldn't be a problem if you're just keeping your guard up, even with the big Goron sword preventing you from shielding. Right, this next room I don't like. Because my favorite enemy, Stealthos! Go away, I don't want the second one in my vision. Alright, there's one. Yeah, go and hit me. I don't care. Gotcha. I know there's healing coming up. And the room after this one is enemies that can kill me in one hit anyway, so having 2 or 3 hearts doesn't matter here. Anyway, big key, boss key, keep calling it big key, the same thing, doesn't matter. Can't skip this, because the door to Ganondorf is, as you can see, locked. Not that the key is hard to find. Anyway, last challenge is double Iron Knuckle. Game thinking it's hard. However, in practice it's not, because you can just activate one at a time. And you're gone. They will drop recovery hearts, I know, they always do. I'm not bothering picking them up, because having 3 hearts on this guys makes no difference on having 2 hearts. Gotcha. Now I can. Despite being the most powerful enemies in the game, their pattern is so easy. They're not a challenge. Not for me, at least. Years of experience has taught me how to deal with these guys. Right, now I'd like to be on full magic before I go to the final boss. I know these spots have arrows and magic. And hearts, but the hearts don't show up if I'm full on them. That's why I'm getting the rupees. Give me some magic, game. There we go. Because these final series of bosses drain your magic quite a lot. We didn't get the light arrows for nothing. That's what we're going to use as main weapon against Mr. Evil. Trying to think he can conquer the world. Even though he already has 2 Triforce parts, so he's quite on its way.